Hello everyone, today we have another interesting deck build. It is a Greninja Dragonite build. Now, the early game for this deck wants to utilize and leverage Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is a one cost or one energy attacker. He's a basic Pokemon and has, and has 100 HP, so relatively tanky for what it is, and then that can help us stall until we get our other Pokemon up and online. We have two Stage 2 Pokemon evolution lines to kind of help with the consistency of being able to draw into and get at least one of them going by the end of the game. And if you get Dragonite going by the end of the game, typically it is the sweeper. Once you get him in and in place, if you've been doing some kind of pop damage throughout, a lot of times you can finish knocking out whatever the enemy Pokemon is on the back line. Usually you're going to be able to finish off a few of them and collect those points that you need to finish off the win. We have the Greninja as a way to help bring things down below that 50 or to that 50 damage range, so that Dragonite only needs to hit each Pokemon once, or you bring it down to a multiple of 50 so that you can try to hit each target as few times as possible to get them to be finished off and get them to die. If you don't have the Dragonite, Greninja is great passive damage, doing 20 damage at a time, and then if you have him in the front line, it's a total of 80 damage that you're dealing between the Water Shuriken and your Mist Slash attack. And the beautiful thing about both of those evolution lines, the Dratini and Dragonair and the Froakie Frogadier and the Greninja, all have a 1 retreat cost. And so if for some reason you get caught out, you have one of those out and you need to pivot, if it gets poisoned, you have the 1 energy, so it's a cheap swap into another card. The Kangaskhan, on the other hand, typically if you put him out there, you're going to plan on him dying because he's going to be the wall for you. He is the wall that delays you and allows you to build up into your other attacks. Now, I have found this one incredibly fun. I have loved this deck so much against almost every single matchup. Sometimes it can fall to tempo decks a little bit. If you get a good output or ramp up fast enough, a lot of times you can hold your own against just about anything out there. I have wanted to play a Dragonite deck for a very long time, but up until this point, it was like a Hypno or a Frosmoth, and that felt too reliant on having them be delayed a couple of turns from that sleep, which I think is a up to as little as 25% chance to actually be effective. And so Frosmoth is 50% because it's 50-50 of whether they can attack that next turn, but it also requires 2 energy, so that's delaying you in and of itself. And then the Hypno is a 25% chance to do anything from the back line to get them to sleep and stay asleep going into that next turn. And so I've really enjoyed being able to bring a Dragonite online and just have the kind of slow gameplay that it needs, but still be able to put out some early enough damage with the Kangaskhan. We're going to keep the deck explanation relatively short. I like the idea of only having 1 Dragonite in this deck, because typically with Dragonite, you're going to find him later in the game. You're not going to be able to build up 2 Dragonites, and you don't need him early game necessarily. It's going to take at least 4 or 5 draws before you could really even have him ramped up and energized and ready to go. And so by that point, you're going to only have about maybe 6 cards left in your deck, and so your odds of drawing him as the game gets later is greater. I would rather have alternate resources to use to allow me or to afford me the ability to delay and get to that late game. We're going to keep the explanation relatively short. Thank you guys so much for all of the support on the last few videos. I continue to say it, and I mean it. It has been a very exciting transition, starting this new channel and finding its way into the algorithm, and then you guys coming in and just giving that massive support. So thank you guys so very much for being here. We're going to jump over into a couple of games. I hope that you guys enjoy. At least their Misty failed them. Alright, so we do survive the attack with Starmie EX. We don't have the Dragonair, unfortunately. 2040. We might be able to get away with doing like doing our energy onto the Greninja maybe. It'll be 60. It'll be 80 damage each turn. We're gonna need at least 1 heads here. Please, goodness, give us 1 heads. 2 would be better, but that's 2 for 8. Okay, so they go with the big attack. They didn't heal, which is good to see. So now we can knock out the Starmie. And then I think we try to play a little bit dodgy. So that we can finish knocking out the Goldeen in the back line. Patch here. We go Water Shuriken. The Starmie EX. We knock him out with the Mist Slash. They will be able to get the Lapras in and doing 80 damage per turn, and that's why we have to get a little bit dodgy. We're gonna need one of the 2 Dragonairs. We have a 1 out of 3 shot of being able to tank an attack here. And that's what we're going to need. We're going to need to be able to stall for a turn at the very least. They go Blastoise EX and then Articuno EX. And so all of their cards cost quite a bit for a retreat. We might be okay. Pokeball, there's nothing left in our deck to pull. So that's not exactly what we wanted to see, but with Sabrina, they're going to have to make a choice. They don't have any X speeds in hand, so they would have to hope for a top deck of one. Otherwise, we buy ourselves a turn. Because they can attach energy. I would put Articuno EX out. That would be my gut impression of what we should do. Articuno EX has a 2-cost retreat. But they go with a 3-cost retreat instead. Very, very interesting. All right, so Blastoise isn't going to be able to attack. Let's keep building up the Dratini just in case we need it later. And then Water Shuriken, aiming for the backline Goldeen. We have the Mist Slash that's going to be splashing a little bit of damage on the Blastoise. You know, it doesn't tickle. It doesn't even hurt. Or it doesn't even tickle. He is so beefy and so tanky. But drawing into a Dragonair. So if this is a Seeking, that's fine. We do get the concede. If they had an X speed, Articuno EX was their only avenue for victory with having it out front, because then they could have done an energy attach X speed, pull it back in. But that is not the line they went with. I am very grateful. We will take the win. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, so we are going first here. We get Kangaskhan off the jump, which is a beautiful start, mind you. And then they have Articuno and Pidgey, not looking like a strong start for them. The Pidgeot line is so almost fickle. You have to get a certain card and a certain draw just for that like constant Sabrina, which is sometimes useful depending on the deck, sometimes not useful at all. We get another Froakie and a Dratini. I kind of want to wait and not throw the second Froakie. I'm going to do it. We're a little bit more susceptible to those Sabrina plays now because we don't have the backup Kangaskhan, which maybe is fine. We'll see. We go Articuno. They do have Misty off the jump. Unfortunate. This is their first turn to potentially attack. And then they get the Misty down. They get 1 heads, 1 tails. They draw into a Lapras. And so they are able to attack with Ice Wing here. And so they're online very, very fast. Just that 1 extra energy is huge. It can be so devastating. It is what it is, I suppose. Let's go ahead and go Sabrina here. We're going to take the Articuno off the front line. The only way that they could get their Blizzard online as early as next turn is if they had an X speed, but they throw out a Lapras instead. Interesting. And so that has a double retreat cost. Okay, so we get 2 tails from the Kangaskhan, unfortunately. So it can do some damage, but it has to have at least 4 to do the big damage. They have their second Misty. Well, looks like the end of the line for us. They get another heads. And that allows them to... they could have retreated there. But even still, like, we don't have any evolution forms. We don't have anything, like, strong going for us in our hand. All of our stage 2s and draw cards are at the bottom. So Kangaskhan with the double tails again. Goodness. The last 2 games have been abysmal. We have flipped, and I'm starting to keep track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And had a total of 2 heads. Well, 6, I guess 12 coin flips total, and a total of 2 heads. It's gonna take a while to come back from that monstrosity. We get Professor's Research. Dragonair. No, we need Dragonair. In a very bad way. So that we can get the Dragonite online. And they're going to be slapping 90s from here on out. Eesh. Okay. Let's go Dizzy Punch. Oh my goodness. We get A-heads. It was a solid 1-1. Oh man, our luck today is pretty poor. So the 4th energy, they can start just absolutely going to town, destroying us. But the good thing is 90 damage, a Greninja can tank 1 attack here. And so that is what we're going to be looking to do. We get Kangaskhan. So I think we had to go Professor's Research. Dragonair. Dragonair, beautiful. Bottom 4. It took us until the bottom 5 to be able to find it. So we're going to protect ourselves from a Misty play. Going to attach our next energy here, and we're just going to have to hope for the best. So with Lapras for this attack, that brings him down to 50. Unless they heal him, he is within 1-shot range from a Draco meteor, and that is what we're going to be angling for, is to finish off like the Pidgey, finish off the Lapras, and guarantee that we get some of those points. So we just have to figure out a way to bring it home from there. And I guess we could have switched into the Dragonair, knocked out the Lapras, but then we would have been susceptible to an 80 power attack from Articuno. I don't know that that's that big of an issue, though. All right, Greninja's almost down. We get the second Greninja, so if we draw another Frogadier? If we draw another one of the lines we need to draw, then we should be okay. But let's go Dragonite. Throw out the X speed, pull in the Greninja, put him back here in safety territory, and we're gonna Water Shuriken the Pidgey. That puts him within 1-tap range, and that's essentially what we're wanting to focus on, is being able to knock out these Pokemon from here. Okay, not awful. We do knock out the Lapras. The big Articuno EX is going to come into play. They have 1 point, we have 1 point, but we have the Dragonite online, and once he is online, he is so massive. And so they do a Sabrina, that's fine. We're going to let them take out the Froakie. We could throw in Kangaskhan and make sure that he survives the attack, but we don't want him to. We want to be able to have him knocked out, or if they choose not to attack, be able to attach an energy and then retreat him. And so sacrificing him for good cause. Go the Dragonite line. Then 3 things within 1 tap range. And then the Articuno in the back outside of it. So let's go Water Shuriken. I'm going to throw it onto the back line just because we can for giggles. And then we'll attack. Odds are we hit and destroy one of these other ones unless it just stacks really poorly. We knock out the front one, the back one. We actually get 4 points of tokens here. Once you get the Dragonite online, it is so tough to come back from. And so we will gladly take it where we can. Even though our flips have been abysmal, we're still finding ways to win. So Kangaskhan's biggest strength is that he can pump out some damage, but his biggest strength is that he is kind of a tank, allowing us to build up and get online our other Pokemon. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, so we're going second. We get the first attack. We actually have a really good start here. We have a good spread of basic Pokemon. We have the Dratini into the Dragonair. We have the Froakie, and then the Greninja. We just need his second stage, and then we are in a very, very strong spot. Now, unfortunately, Grimer can poison us, which means our Kangaskhan is going to get kind of chipped away very, very quickly here. But maybe that's not the worst thing if we get everything else online fast enough. So let's go ahead and attach the energy. We do Dizzy Punch. We're hoping for a double heads. Knowing my luck, I always assume we're going to get bad flips. And then when they're good, we... oh no. And they're bad. Oh no. I guess I chose a bad time to start recording my coin flips. Because I'm keeping track of them. I'm gonna do a video of like 10,000 coin flips, and seeing what the percentage is, because it should be 50%. Like a true coin flip should be 50-50. It doesn't feel like that, and so I'm a little bit curious of what the outcome will be from that video. So make sure that you stick around if you're curious what the coin flips look like in the game. So we have our Dragonite, which is a beautiful line. We only have 1 in our deck because typically he's a late game or later game style of player. Double heads? Oh no. I haven't had double heads in a while. But at least we get 1. I am thankful for any damage that the Kangaskhan is here putting out. We're going to need a few turns to stall up and get our Dragonite online. When they evolve here, they could have Koga to pull the Muck back into like a Wheezing line or whatever they need to play. Or if they're wanting to like reposition into a Coughing or a Wheezing, they're going to have that freedom, and it'll give them the kind of free heal as long as they get their Muck. And if they get Muck, he's not online yet. So beautiful. That actually stalls them a turn. And we love to see it. Because that is going to be the make or break for us, is can we stall long enough? Let's evolve into the Dragonite. We're going to get another Dizzy Punch here, and we're going to hope for the good luck. Let's see, heads starting off, double heads. We just have to complain about it a little bit, and then all of a sudden we start spitting out and pumping some solid damage. Now, they're probably going to destroy the Kangaskhan here. If not, I mean, maybe they do Koga to make sure that he doesn't get destroyed. Okay, Potion. So they're not going to do Koga. We don't have a way to destroy him this upcoming turn anyways. And so they have the Venoshock, which is going to slap 120 massive damage here. Wild. a wild amount of damage, but he's a very slow... Muck is a very slow Pokemon. So we need a basic. It's not a basic Pokemon. We need a basic to make sure that we don't get flipped into the Dragonite, I suppose. But Frogadier isn't bad. That gives us our Greninja line next turn. We're going to have the Dragonite online and attacking. So maybe we draw into Professor's Research. We have two of those left in our deck. Maybe we draw into X-Speed. We'll see. Have the Weezing line, so they could pull in the Muck. We get a little bit worried of a potential Arbok line. Whoa, they're going to retreat out the Muck and leave him... kind of leave him be. Okay. So I assume they have Koga to pull in the Weezing. They're going to throw in Poison and then finish it off with Muck, I would imagine. We're fine with that. So building back up the Muck, not going to attack with the Weezing. So they're just looking to purely Poison, switch it out so that they have that massive damage from the Muck. And X-Speed would be beautiful here. Professor's Research. The Dream could still be alive. Could be in this. We have 2 X-Speeds in our deck, Kangaskhan and Pokeball. Is neither one of those were what we were looking for. So in the bottom 8, we have 2 X-Speeds hiding in there somewhere. Do we throw out the Dratini? Maybe not. I'm going to throw in Greninja. We're going to attach the last energy onto Dragonite. We are no longer poisoned because of the evolution line, so so too bad, so sad for them. But we get to do the Water Shuriken, and I want to bring... I don't want to bring Ekans down below, but let's bring Muck down below the one-shot territory. And so we're not going to do anything else here. We're just going to end our turn. We're going to keep our double basics in hand. I completely overlooked the fact that we would heal the poison with that evolution line, so it lets us be safe for an extra turn. I guess not necessarily. They could do the gas leak into a Koga, into the Muck coming up and mucking up our plans entirely. They could also throw out the Arbok, I guess. And the coughing in there as well. Comes down to if they have a Koga or not. If they have a Koga, they have a lot of options here. I would say they could do the Arbok to lock the Greninja in. They could do the Muck to finish Greninja off, and then we're just stuck with whatever Dragonite can do. Of all the things, Weezing staying in, I'm guessing that they do not have the Koga line, which is perfectly fine with us. Perfectly fine with me, anyways. So Professor's Research. We may be able to hit an X-Speed here. We're pretty low on our cards. Pokeball. Get the Froakie, so we could work on the evolution line, but knowing they have an Arbok, I don't think we want to. I think we would rather just attach energy, retreat, we clear the poison, I'm gonna throw the Water Shuriken onto Weezing. That way we could potentially double shot KO him. Like if the Draco Meteor hits Weezing twice, he's out of the picture. It doesn't, but it knocks out coughing in the backline. It knocks out Muck, and so it mucks about their business a little bit. They can do the poison. They can send in Arbok, but There's not a lot they can do otherwise. They only have 1 token, so they still need to knock out 2 more. So even if they did Sabrina and locked in the Greninja, that is not going to be enough to stop us. We'll gladly take the win. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Rapid Llamas, and we get a heads here. So we're going to be going first. We do start with our Kangaskhan, which is a fantastic start. It's a fighting deck, so I would expect a like Mankey. Onix was not on my bucket list, but we are weak to the fighting with our Kangaskhan line. Let's go Dratini. I want to throw Professor's Research, but I'm not going to, since we don't know if they have a red card built in. And it being a wild card, I don't want to force the draw, get good resources, have 5 cards, and then go down to 3. I don't want to give them that potential. I guess have 4 cards and go down to 3, but no additional draw tools. So they have Brock. So Onix is going to be able to attack starting next turn, slapping 70s, or against Kangaskhan, slapping 90s. Let's go with the Frogadier. Professor's Research. We're hoping for Dragonair. Okay. We get Pokeball, so we can pull out another Kangaskhan? No, another Froakie. Okay. Let's go Dratini. Do we even worry about attacking with the Kangaskhan? He's going to die in 2 shots. 1 if they have Giovanni. We're going to get 2 sets of double heads, and they're not going to have Giovanni. Not a good start. All right, 1-1 is I guess fine. 230 damage. That takes him down into like KO range from like a Greninja. And then if they do a potion, we could do the Water Shuriken plus Greninja. No, it would just be with the Greninja. And so no Giovanni, because they did do the Professor's Research. They have a Mankey line and then Pokeball to allow them to draw through almost a good chunk of their deck. So Kangaskhan is alive here. You'll love to see it. And then we do get the Dragonair. And so let's do... Dragonair is going to be our focal point. It's going to be our chance to win. We wouldn't be able to pivot into the Frogadier. But let's go ahead and attack with the Dizzy Punch. Double heads here. We feel it coming. 1. 1-1. Okay. What we should see more often than not. I just still wanted it to be a shot. Had we been on the upside of that flip, we could have knocked out the Onix and would have been in a much better position for it, but it's okay. All right, so the Mankey is what they're building up with the Primeape upside. He is now gone. We need somebody that can survive a 70 damage hit, and so that is going to be our Deer Frogadier here. So Pokeball, we're going to hope for I guess Kangaskhan is guaranteed here. And so that gives us a protection from Sabrina. So with the second energy onto Dragonair, evolve him into Dragonite. We just need to get him online, ramped up, and raring to go. And then we should be able to change the tides of this battle. Now, again, if they have Giovanni, they can one-hit the Frogadier. A little bit more unfortunate. They do have Giovanni. Shoot. Well. In that case, we're in a really difficult spot. We have to just tank a hit with Dragonite, which feels awful. Now, had we not evolved him, and we should have kept it as Dragonair. Had we not evolved him, we could knock out the Onix. And so then they'd be looking much worse for wear here, coming into like a follow-up turn. But it is, I guess, what it is. Okay. If it's stacked, maybe just right, but probably not even then. I don't think we could finish this off. Especially with 4 Mons on the board. We would have to get incredibly lucky, but there is a path. It would have to hit here twice, here once, and then it doesn't matter where the last one goes. I mean, I guess we could tank another turn if Primeape doesn't get hit here. Give it a shot. We're hoping to either knock out the Mankey or not touch him at all. It's one or the other. Okay, beautiful. Let's go. We're still alive. They have used none of their Sabrinas, but a Giovanni wouldn't do it here for them. Sabrina would force us to flip into the Kangaskhan, but we do have the double X speed, which would be big. I think we win this one. It's tight, but I think, oh. No, we definitely win this one. This game is ours. Whew. That was a tight one. It wasn't comfortable anyway throughout it. They were applying the pressure very early on, but Dragonite did not fail us. We'll take it. Let's jump into the next one. All right, we got Tails, so we are going second here. We have the Dratini and the Dragonair already in hand. Not how we typically want to start, though. So they have the Articuno. They pull out another basic. We have to look out for Misty. They didn't play the other basic. Interesting. All right. Let's go with Kangaskhan. I'm going to go Pokeball. We're looking for the Froakie. Kangaskhan, backup Kangaskhan saves us from the Sabrina line. But having the Frogadier, a Froakie would have been pretty good to see. Go with X Speed to pull out the Dratini. Throw in the Kangaskhan. And we are going to go into flip mode. We need some good heads. I don't know that it's a major selling point on this one, but 1 and 1, okay. Statistically what you would expect. So the backup Articuno, and not an EX version. They also have Misty. Okay. Love to see the Misty fail. I feel like Misty fails more often than she succeeds. Okay, let's go ahead and evolve into the Dragonair. We attach or start attaching energy onto it, and then we're just going with the Dizzy Punch. Just throwing all of the flips our way. Single tails, double tails. You hate to be the one that tails the tail of the tails. That is me, you guys. My flip luck is abysmal. And I feel like it can't just be me. Maybe it's my account. Who knows? But it feels like I am definitely less than 50%. Okay, so the Drowsy. They're just looking to stall. The next Frogadier, unfortunately, not big for us. But we will start being able to attack with Dragonair if we wanted to. Let's go Dizzy Punch. And we're going to look for double heads to offset that double tails earlier. Beautiful. You love to see when it immediately comes back in the right direction. So Articuno's down to 10. It may try to pull it out if they have an X speed, since they're stacking up this one in the back. Second Misty. See how it goes for them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Once it gets going, it is so tough to stop. That is 4 heads and 1 tails is ridiculous. And so now they can just attack with this guy. Oh, okay. So Hypno with the heads. Oof. That is a lot of good coin flips for them. So our coin flip to see... Oh wait, no, they're seeing if we're paralyzed. And they got heads. We were already essentially paralyzed, but... Wait, no, we just don't get a chance to revive. Okay, a bit rude. That was a lot of heads. That was out of 5, 7 flips. They got 6 heads. Such unfortunate luck. Okay, well... It is what it is. Can't do anything. Go ahead and build onto the Dragonair, and we're gonna top deck our Dragonite. We have 2 Professor's Research in the bottom 10, and then we have the 1 Dragonite. We have 5 cards that we'd kind of be interested in pulling out here. See if the Hypno passes again. Nope, it hits tails. Beautiful, you love to see it. And then the Paralysis Beam. I think they get to flip anyways. But even though Kangaskhan is going to be dead, they did get the heads. Wow. Super unfortunate luck for us. But we can knock out the first Articuno. The Dragonair. But that puts him at risk of being out in the front line. But if we evolve him, let's say next turn, might get some benefit. So, let's start, I guess, building up maybe Dratini here. For second, like Dragonair. Hit him with a tail smack. We're going to knock out the Articuno. They put in the other Articuno. We have Sabrina to try to force them back into maybe Hypno. But it really comes down to the paralysis and what that looks like. And then into the Lickitung. They are a full-on coin flip deck. And from what I've tracked, my opponents have much higher than a 50% flip rate. And I, on the other hand, have lower. It's still early like stats or statistic-wise. Still very interesting. They hit heads on both the Hypno and the Paralysis, so we don't even get a chance to revive here. We get Professor's Research. There's a slim chance that we pull into Dragonite. Dragonite is what we love to see here. The Dragonite coming into play was in our bottom 7, and we were able to find him. That removes the Paralysis. So bad, so sad for you. We get the Froakie, so then we have the Frogadier. Odds are we'll find the Greninja very, very soon. If we continue playing. Hopefully this stacks well and it just ends the game. It's 2-2. 2-1-1, I guess, is fine. And so now it still comes down to that Paralysis, but they only have 1 token. So even if they knock out the Dragonite, we should be okay. So the Lickitung, full-on coin flip deck. The Giovanni coming in on the Articuno. It's not enough to KO us, though. Look at the Paralysis. They've hit heads on it every single time so far. It's bound to be a Tails. Thank goodness. Bound to be a Tails eventually. So that should be what we need to win here. We go Froakie, we go Dragonair, we go Energy onto the Dragonair. And then we finish off with the Draco meteor. We get the retreat. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, we are going first with the heads that we finally can get in the opener. Let's go double Kangaskhan. Not our ideal start, but it also looks like we're going up against a water deck, so we have to look out for Misty. Vaporeon is a decent one. If it gets ramped up, it can do some healing and whatnot, but also evolves or requires the stage 2. So let's go Froakie. We can now evolve into the Frogadier. If we get Greninja online incredibly early, huge passive damage for us. They have the Psyduck. What other basic would they be going? Staryu. It feels like maybe they've got kind of a spread. Ooh, it's a Gyarados. And so making us discard a random energy is always an interesting effect. And it has really high base damage. So the Eevee with the Eevee attack. Let's get Dizzy Punch. And if we get super lucky here, we can knock out the Eevee. I'd love to see. We're going to get Dizzy real fast. 1 heads, 2. Beautiful. You'll love to see it. And that knocks out the Eevee. No longer are we worried about that Vaporeon line. They have to either position a Psyduck or a Magikarp, which if they position Magikarp, they're going to want to evolve them right away, and they wouldn't be able to attack for a very long time. So the Articuno as well, and then the Gyarados evolution. Beautiful card, a lot of health, but 4 energy is so much to lean in on or need to hit. As we play a 4 energy deck, I guess. But our 4 energy, once we get it, it's like an instant win. This one, there are a lot of Pokemon that can still kind of tank that 100 damage. So Dragonair, no luck for us on that regard. Let's throw onto the Frogadier. We're hoping for a 3rd double heads in a row. Probably won't happen, but no, Tails, and okay. We're okay with the 1-in-1. Misty could be scary, especially if it lands onto the Gyarados early. Beautiful Misty Tails coming in. I love it when a Misty fails. So no supporter cards for us. We can't run off the Psyduck. That's fine. Ooh, we get the Greninja evolution. Let's throw him in. Do 2nd energy there. Where do we want to water Shuriken? I feel like we're going to chip away at Staryu. We already have 1 energy, or we already have 1 prize. We need 2 more. And knocking out the Staryu, I think, would be big for us. All right, we just need 1 heads here. 1 out of 2 is all we need. That's not a good start. Okay, oof. We brought it home. We brought it home with the 1-in-1. Knock out the Psyduck. They could evolve this into the Starmie EX. And then they're pumping 90 damage each turn. But we have the Greninja, and we would be able to knock him out, or should be able to knock him out. That following turn, we do get to concede. We get on the lucky side of the coin flip, just barely for that game, but we'll take it. And that is where we're actually going to end the video. I was trying to find like Pikachu decks or Mewtwo decks, but I'm queuing up into the event matches, and even at the high end of 45, I haven't found anyone running those today. It just, I guess, kind of is what it is. But overall, the deck is incredibly fun. It offers a couple of cool avenues to get a lot of power and get some tankiness down on the board at the same time. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.